Hello, friends. I'm going to show you today how to create a digital breakout room. Um, I'm going to be using Google Drive for this, and if you don't already have a Google account that you've sort of dedicated for professional use, then I recommend that you go ahead and start one. um, I just like having all of my school related stuff on one Google Drive and my personal stuff on a separate Google Drive. I have already created a folder in my Google Drive called Breakout folder. I'm going to open the Breakout folder, and now I'm going to do a new folder that's going to have all of the stuff for my new Breakout. So I go over to New and click Folder, and this is going to be an NC Atlas Breakout. So my purpose for this Breakout is to um, have fourth graders explore the Atlas resource on NC Wise Owl. So now I'm going to open up that folder and start a new form. So I go to New and More, and I'm going to do Google Forms. So this is where the digital breakout actually happens. And I'm going to title the form North Carolina Facts. And my first question, all of these questions are going to be short answer questions. And I've just saved time on the video and keep you guys from having to watch me go around the web. I've already collected the questions and answers that I want to put on my form. So the questions are actually going to go in a different place. This form is just to house the locks. So I've got, oops, there's my notepad. And so the first one that I have listed, the answer to the question is Uwari, and it's an 8-letter word. So my untitled question is going to be 8-letter code, or lock. You can say code or lock because um, that is. I'm going to switch it to lock. Because the questions are somewhere else. We just want the kids to write the answer here, and we want them to have to kind of do a little bit of thinking to figure out what answer goes in which place. So it's not just a quiz, it's there's a little bit of extra puzzling involved in it. So the short answer for that is Uwari. Okay. Why? Oh, and we want it to be required. Question 8 answer. Why isn't it letting me click here? Okay, I'm going to stop recording because. Okay, so I just deleted that question. I'm starting over. I don't know what happened there. But this is an oops, 8-letter lock. And the answer, what is going on? Oh, duh. I forgot. You have to go over to the snowman and turn on response validation in order to be able to put your own answer in. So, the response is going to be text, and it's going to contain the word "uwari," and the custom error text, you can say, you can give another hint, or you can ask them if they capitalized. So I'm going to say, did you use correct capitalization? Um, and then the next question, we're going to add a question. And the next question is a 6-digit lock. So that's going to be number. And it is also, all of these need to be required, because if they're not, then they'll unlock without having to answer all the questions. So we don't want that to happen. Um, and I'm just going to copy uh, this answer over to here. And I'm going to change it's a number, so I'm going to change it to equal to. And it doesn't like the comma. So I'm going to put in, remove the comma, and up here in my question spot, I'm going to put numbers only. And um, in case they put the comma in, then their error will be, it'll remind them to fix that. I'm only doing 5 because even if this were a 40-minute lesson, I would want the kids to be focused on exploring the resource, as well as answering the question. So really the point is to get them to explore the resource. And if I had a whole list of questions, then they would be rushing through instead of taking their time to look around. So we want number 13. And I actually forgotten what that is the answer to. I think it's maybe number of original colonies, probably. But anyway, I'm going to get back to my uh, if I don't put anything here, it'll just say incorrect or invalid answer or something like that. But I think I'll just read the question again. And remember to mark it required. Move this over here. All right, and see, this one is a 4-digit, and you want to have, you don't want to repeat your clues here. You can't have 2 6-letter locks or 2 2-digit locks, because that would you wouldn't be able to say what is correct and what is not. So the 4 digits needs to be equal to 1792. And if they don't get that right, then I'm going to give them a little clue. And then my last one is a 4-letter code, and it's required response validation. The text contains dare. Okay, so that I'm just going to check over. I'm going to change this to say, this question to say lock, and this one, I just want to be consistent. All right, so now I have my um, survey or my form with my codes saved. I'm going to go back to the Google Drive folder for my North Carolina Atlas breakout, and I'm going to do a new more, and this time I'm going to make a Google site. So new Google site. And the Google site is going to be NC Wise Owl Atlas Exploration. And this would be, if I come up with a cute title, I'll come back and change this. But for right now, I'm just going to say explore your state in NC Wise Owl. And I can change the image here. Not going to, you probably can see how to do that, so I'm not going to go to the trouble right now of taking up your time to add these little bells and whistles in. So to create the Google site, anywhere in the clear area down here, I double click and it brings up this wheel. And I'm going to add, the first thing I'm going to do is add my form from the drive. And so I'm going to click on the drive and go to the folder with my form in it. And it's going to automatically embed the form over here on the right. And now over here on this side, or I can go anywhere in where there's blank area, I can add the links for the questions. So those can be, it can be text that you hyperlink, it can be pictures, it can be a combination of pictures and text. And part of what you want to do is have the kids mousing around to figure out what they need to click to find the question to put into the form. So I'm going to double click again, and you see my different choices here. So I could upload something. I could embed, if I had an embed code for the Atlas, for example, I could embed that in here. I can do images. Right now, I'm just going to do text, and I'm going to say use in use the no, what is it called? I think it's called uh, new tab. Elementary tour of the USA. So I'm gonna say use the tour the USA app at NC Wise Owl to answer or to find the um, codes you need to unlock the prize. And I am going to go ahead and link to NCY's Owl to the elementary page, although I have already taught the kids many times to get to NCY's Owl and to click on elementary. So they shouldn't have any difficulty finding that page, but it has been switched up. It looks a little different than it did before school let out in March. So they might be a little bit confused. So I'm going to go ahead and link that there so they can get to that link. Now I'm going to start adding my questions and my pictures. So the first, I'm going to do them in a random order. I don't want to do them in the same order that I did the uh, questions in the code. That would be too easy for them. So the first one I'm going to do is the Lost Colony one. So I can go just do a Google image search, and it's going to by default look for images that are copyright free. So I don't have to worry about copyright issues. I'm going to search for one on Lost Colony. And wonder, maybe I'll do Virginia Dare first. Lovely drawings of Virginia Dare, but nothing quite like what I'm looking for. But that's a nice image. It's very, for those, if you're aware of the Lost Colony, then, you know, this is some symbolic, significant image. And now I'm going to link the image. Oops. So first I have to do a new page. So I'm going to do a new page. This is my home page, and I'm going to add a sub page. And the sub page is going to be you can call it whatever you want, but I'm just going to call it Croatan. And then I'm going to change this to last name of the, I'm going to do it grammatically. What is the last name of the first English child born in North America? And then I could put a link here again if I felt like I needed to NCY's Owl, but I think part of what I want the kids to do is learn about working between tabs and navigating around. So I'm actually just going to leave that. And I'm going to change this image to the same one. And now I'm going to go back to my home page. It's automatically saving everything, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, if I double click in this space and add another picture, it's going to group them together, and that might be okay. If I do group them together, then I think it affects the navigation. So I'm going to click down here and add the next image. And so the next question I'm going to do is the you are a national forest. So, isn't that a pretty picture? And I'm going to link that to oops, did I link this one? Yes. Okay. Um, add a sub page to home and this question will be what national forest, did I spell that right, is south of Greensboro? And fix that image. This time I think I'll choose a different one because there's so many pretty images. This is one of my favorite places in the whole world. Um, go back to the home page and do the next one. See, I've done that one. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it so I know I've done it. I've done that one. And the next one. Maybe Capitol Building. I'm going to pause it here because you get the idea, and I don't want you to have to watch me stumbling all around the web trying to perfect my work. All right, so now I'm just going to go back and, excuse me, check my links. Okay, so I want to make sure that one's linking to Croatan, so I apply that. Here are my sub pages over here, so I want to make sure that each of these images links to a sub page. I was trying to do that as I went along, but it looks like I forgot to hit apply on them or something like that. So that one is, what is that question? Um, oh, this is the one about when Raleigh was established. And that one's the population question. So I'm just going to double check these again. Okay, that one's good. Yeah. Um, see, yeah, that one is a good thing I'm trying it again. That one's linked. And that one's linked. Okay, so now I've got all my links, and I can change the position of these um, photos by just clicking and dragging them around. Um, and actually, I don't really like the way these are right on top of each other, but don't seem to be able to unlink them, so I'm not going to worry about that. Um, all right, so now I have the website arranged acceptably. I could probably spend a lot of time tweaking it and getting it looking, perfect or at least closer to perfect, but you could spend a lot of time and maybe don't have. So good enough in this case is good enough. And I need to publish this site. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be available to everyone on the web. I can request that public search engines not display the site, and I can also change the web address. I could um, make it um, not have those underscores, and as long as it's a not an address that somebody else has, I can have it. So I'm going to publish that and then go to view published site, and the published site, this will be the URL that I will publish to the students right up here, or that I would link in my Canvas page or whatever. One other thing, I have created, let me go back to the form. And you see, because I did the form and the folders together. So let me go back to the form, and I'm going to customize under settings. I'm going to customize the presentation to the instead of the we don't want them to submit another response, and it's okay to shuffle question order if you want to. And I'm going to change the confirmation message to congratulations, you have broken out. And then I've created a little page that I call Mrs. Brannon's prize page. It's just some PDFs that are not available just out on the web. So it's an inexpensive prize. They can print out, they can color their own bookmark. There's some choices there for them. They can make a fortune teller, color their own bookmark. I'll probably be adding some other things to it, but it's just something, a little inexpensive prize. All it's going to cost me is a piece of paper per student. Um, so I'm going to say visit Mrs. Brannon's prize page to print out your activity. And then I am going to find my prize page on my Google Drive. Um, and it's actually in the Breakout folder, but it's under the Destiny Discovery Breakout. And I'm going to go to the Publish page and add View Publish Site, and I'm going to add the URL to the form. Unfortunately, you can't highlight, like, I would love to be able to highlight this and then just link the URL there, but that doesn't work. So, unfortunately, but I'm just going to save that. And now my NC Wise Owl Breakout puzzle is ready to publish. So I hope that helps anyone who's interested in learning to do a digital breakout. Email me if you have any questions, run into any problems, and have a good time. I hope your kids enjoy it.